Hopefully we have consent from everybody here to record. Okay, so without further ado, I think we should just kick this off right on time. And as people continue to come in, we do obviously have a recording of this. So if you have to jet out early at any point, that's all right. You'll be able to access this webinar on our website after the fact. So don't worry about that. A few kind of housekeeping items. There is a chat feature. So throughout this webinar, please feel free to shoot some messages. I'm going to be trying to monitor it while Jeff and Robin are talking, seeing if we can answer some of these questions. We also are going to kind of have a little bit of a giveaway at the end. So do stick around for that. But that's about it. So really, to kick things off, I want to thank Johnson & Johnson for being our sponsor for these webinars. They really help us put all of these on for everybody on the line. And today, we're obviously talking about 8 ways to market contact lenses. So just a little bit of background about kind of who you're talking to right now. So I will be the panelist. My name is Jill. I've worked with marketing for ECPs for around 5.5 years. We also have Robin and Jeff on the line, who are going to be really actually the panelists here that are going to be educating you. We are all a part of our accounts and strategy team here. So what that means is all of us have a lot of experience talking and working with independent ODs all across North America. We really are in charge of understanding their business, creating marketing strategies to help them grow or, reach the correct target demographic. So we definitely are in the thick of things. We get to trial things out. We build and help promote contact lenses all the time. So that's kind of who we are. And without further ado, let's kick this off, and let's start off with the first possible way to market contact lenses. Go ahead, Robin.
So the first thing, this is like the very base that you need to have before we even get into everything else that we're going to be discussing here today. And number one is for you to build a page about contact lenses on your website. This right here is the foundation, because 95% of your current and potential patients will come to your website at some point. So if you don't have any information on there regarding contact lenses, they're not going to know if you offer this or not. Secondly, any marketing initiatives that we do in the future, whether that is email marketing, Facebook, etc., if you don't have a page to land on or to refer people back to, then they will be wasted opportunities for you to inform your patients or potential patients about the services that you offer. So what should you include in this page? Benefits of wearing contact lenses, how to care for contact lenses, the different types of contact lenses that you carry, whether they're ortho-K, multifocal, transition, or just like your dailies, etc. Have your brands listed on there. And so all these keywords are also going to help signal to Google that you carry these brands and that you offer these services. That way, when somebody's searching, they're able to find your website as well.
Yeah, great. There's actually an opportunity to show up for these keywords. And yeah, this is always something we're going to preach from the get-go. And we always talk about it. All of these tactics, for the most part, when we're doing any type of digital marketing, we're pointing people back to the website. So let's make sure that they have somewhere to land and learn more about your contact lens offerings. All right. Next up, number 2.
So yeah, investing in e-commerce platform or some type of recall system for contact lenses, it's never been more important than it has been since 18 months ago when our pandemic world changed. So in Canada, almost 22% of contact lenses are sold via the internet. In the US, that number is about 19%. And projections before the pandemic estimated about a 5 to 8% increase by 2024 in online contact sales. And of course, that number has probably gone up, since pandemic, and people became more accepted into just ordering online. So another interesting number out there is 25% of your patients who wear contact lenses will actually purchase their contact lenses and refills online. So if your website is equipped to do so, great. If not, that is potential revenue you're missing out on. And there's some really great platforms out there that are both practice and patient friendly. So our advice would be, educate yourself, sit in on some demos, and decide what fits your practice best. Once you've done that and you've chosen a provider, coach and train your staff to educate your patients that your website now has this option of ordering contact lenses and refills online. The old saying here, if you build it, they will come, doesn't apply here at all. You must educate your patients of this service that you provide, and then track the behavior on your website so you can find the opportunities to increase those conversions that you're getting into actual sales.
Yeah. And one of the things we talk about the most too is, when you're having a budget that you need to decide where you're going to most effectively spend it, we're always going to preach, go to your current patient database. I think it's somewhere between 5 and 25 times more expensive to try to get a new patient in the doors through marketing. So we really got to focus in on capitalizing on your current patient base, make sure they understand how to get here. That's why we have recalls in here. A lot of practices that we work with focus a lot on the eye exam recall, which of course is extremely important, but they miss out on the contact lens recall. People take their contact lens prescription and then they order them online, like Jeff mentioned. So really, really important to kind of have a really good system in place to try to keep them with you, which will probably keep them coming back to the practice for their routine eye exams and purchasing from the dispensary as well. So it's all holistic and works together. All right. Number 3, post information on your Facebook and Instagram. Robin, you want to take that away?
Yeah, so a lot of practices now also have a social media presence. I think any practice, any business out there is just an extension of your brand. So your patients are not necessarily going to your website every day to see what's the latest and greatest on your website, but a way to keep them informed is to be posting information on Facebook and Instagram. So if you have any promotions, so for example, if you're offering free shipping, or if they purchase an annual supply of contact lenses, they get a free pair of frames. Things of that nature, or perhaps you're now offering transition contact lenses. This is a way for you to inform them in real time. So you can provide a lot of value, a lot of information. If you posted a blog, for example, you can also share that on Facebook and or Instagram to drive that traffic again back to your website. So you can use images from contact lens suppliers for content. They have images that are ready to post on social media. They also have videos that you can use. So once you post it, it's not just enough to post it once. We recommend also boosting that specific post that you want to promote, because unless your patients are logged in at that time and scrolling on Facebook or Instagram, then they're not going to see your post. But if you boost it, so you add a little bit of extra budget to make sure that it shows up again and you're targeting your followers, then this is a way for you to remind them and make sure that you're showing up more.
Perfect. Thanks, Robin.
And this is, of course, the perfect segue to differentiate between what is just a Facebook and Instagram post versus what is actually launching a marketing campaign with proper ads. So for example, we're talking about those Google banner ads that when you go on like a website like people.com or CNN, you see those banner ads, right? With the very specific messaging, as well as Facebook and Instagram. So with Facebook and Instagram, you're showing and serving ads on social media platforms. Google ads, you're serving ads outside of social media. So the difference between this and just posting on Facebook and Instagram is that with the other one, you're basically just serving your current patients. With this, you're trying to go out there a little bit and try and get new patients. So this goes back to brand awareness, to educating. The beauty with these ads is that you can basically look at your area and say, I'm going to target this specific radius around my practice, or I'm going to target these specific postal codes. Or we even have a strategy called geofencing that you can target specific buildings, so condo buildings, office buildings. You can target by age range and by gender, or even by interest. So if you have parents with children that are going back to school, you can build a campaign around ortho-K and educating how these contact lenses can help correct their children's vision. So also with these ads, you can serve them thousands and thousands and thousands of time. I'm talking like you can serve them like 40,000 impressions in 1 month. And even though 40,000, 50,000 might sound like a lot, People nowadays are exposed to 5 to 10,000 ads a day. And the average person needs to see your ad at least 7 times before they can actually remember your brand. So if they're exposed to your messaging 7 times, 8 times, 10 times, they're likely to remember your name when they're searching for a service if they're not already clicking on the ad. And the best part about this is your marketing agency can track how these ads are performing. You can actually see what's the click-through rate, how many people are clicking on them, how many people are landing on your website because of these ads, what campaigns are working, are they actually converting into patients, so are they calling, booking an appointment? So that's the beauty with digital marketing, is how specific we can get in targeting the performance of these campaigns and finding the right audience.
Yeah, I've liked these personally a lot of the time when it comes to contact lenses that people don't know exist. So that is definitely in the awareness phase. So the Ortho K is a great example where you can build a campaign that is trying to target parents of children, at a younger age range. To educate them about myopia and how the different methods and means to actually help reduce its effects. And so kind of understanding that and using it as awareness play and educating. I remember also when transitions lenses came out, nobody understands that even exists or that's an option. So we're really just exposing people, but we're being as specific and targeted about which people are going to get this message as possible. All right, let's move on to the next one. Jeff, if you want to talk about this, because I know you've got some personal experience with it.
Sorry, I mute myself there. So yeah, I do have some experience with this. So talking about dry eye and contact lenses, especially with those new patients, maybe patients you've never seen before, when we survey patients why they stop wearing contact lenses, comfort is the top reason. And in Canada, there's over 30% of people that are suffering from dry eye and dry eye related symptoms. So, as we all know, there's so many different treatments available out there for dry eye and ocular surface disease. Jill and I were talking about a few different things earlier before everyone logged on. But being at that as it may, I mean, it's almost like a double dip situation. As you're treating dry eye or talking about dry eye, ask those patients, have you worn contact lenses before? If so, what made you stop? If it was comfort, it probably has something to do with dry eye. So you're able to get these patients that previously were contact lens wearers and open them up back into a new freedom with new lenses, all the while treating their dry eye. And there you are. You're doubling revenue by almost double dipping and treating two different problems with two different solutions.
Great. Thanks, Jeff. That is very helpful. Here's another one. This might sound obvious, but I think we'd be remiss if we didn't touch on this at least a little bit.
Right? Yeah, it's so basic. Asking every patient that's in for an eye exam if they're interested in contact lenses. As experts, it's our job your job to educate. Again, personal experience. I walked around for the last many years of my life having a pair of these in almost every room because as I age, I can't see in the dark. I can't see smaller writing. There was a time there where I had no idea what multifocal contact lenses were, or even that they existed. So, wearing contact lenses for over 35 years, I think I know everything about them. But having those conversations, are they interested in contact lenses? Why not? What is their knowledge level of what's out there available to them? Creating that dialogue with your patients opens up great comments, great questions that they may not even have known, and it gives you an opportunity to educate those people into a solution that they never knew existed, and really open up that freedom again, and allow them to not be walking around with 8 pairs of these in every different room.
Yeah, and I mean, that's going to be a relevant tip when it comes to any type of marketing. And we had to include this because what I do find is, it's not just marketing that's going to drive everything. Well, the marketing is going to work with the sales. So what needs to be happening is if we're going to be spending all this time focusing from a digital perspective on a contact lens sales online, then we definitely need the people in your practice to know that that's the goal too. Because if they're not talking about it when, you're spending all this money and then people are coming in the door and nobody in the practice is even talking about it, these initiatives aren't going to be nearly as successful. So I recommend, just keeping your whole staff aware and privy to the business goals, letting them in on it, touching base, seeing if you're seeing improvements, maybe having a little contest together to make sure that they know that this is what's going on and they're reminded, hey, this is one of our business goals. This is what we're going to be talking about. And let's see the impact that it's actually going to bring in our business. And I promise you, if you are way more specific and you're targeted and your whole staff is in on it as well, you will see some major shifts happen over time with the marketing and the sales being aligned. All right, one more.
So create email blasts specifically about contact lenses. So a lot of practices or even businesses don't realize that they are sitting in a gold mine when it comes to their patient list. So I know sometimes we think, oh, is email marketing even effective? I don't know if I open up every email that comes into my inbox. Well, that's why here we've included some stats as to the effectiveness of email marketing. So first of all, why this would be effective for a practice is because you've already built that relationship with your patient. Okay, so they trust you, you built that relationship, they've come into your practice, they've been serviced by you. So when you send out an email notification, they're more likely to open it because you've already built that relationship with them. So this is just something really good to incorporate into your marketing in general, because it is a way for you to continue that relationship with them and continue to educate them and inform them of things that are happening at your practice. So to dive in a little bit deeper into these specific stats, email marketing can have an ROI of 38 to 1. So that means that for every $1 you spend on email marketing, you can get up to $38 in return. 73% of millennials, so anybody born between 1981 and 1986, so we're talking like your 39-year-olds to your 23-year-olds, prefer communication via email. And 59% of respondents say marketing emails influence their purchase decisions. So definitely take advantage if you have a patient list, an email marketing list, to send them, for example, are you doing any special offers? Are you now offering a special type of contact lens? Do you have any tips, even if it's just to provide value on how to best care for contact lenses?
What about even mentioning too, you have a contact lens recycling program,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
awesome.
And
Come on in, drop them off. Now they're in there. Maybe they're going to pick up some new ones when they're in.
exactly, maybe a reminder to, hey, make sure that you are, if you're running low, we have an e-commerce platform where we can help you, right? So it could also be a reminder. And again, these can link back to either your e-commerce platform or even that page that we go back to the very beginning of this presentation we talked about, so that when they click on it, it takes them to your contact lens page where you have a lot more in-depth information.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's dive a little bit deeper into showing up for some searches.
So yeah, so many people that may have run Google AdWords programs in the past, maybe you're trying to show up for specific brands, and that can be very costly. Robin had mentioned on the very first slide, building out a contact lens page. So within that page, you should always have a contact lens brands page. So brands that you carry. We often think, and we do this with our frame lines and our sunglass lines, but we don't necessarily do it with our contact lenses. But every single day, people and patients in your geography looking to work with local providers are searching for contact lens brands on Google. And it's very important that you build out a brand page, because logos just don't work. Google cannot, distinguish a logo between a logo and text when it comes to brand names. So, think about AccuView Oasis. So now Google can see, hey, this practice provides AccuView Oasis and the different types of brands that you carry. On the left side of the screen there, you'll actually see a live search I had done recently, just on AccuView contacts in Aurora. And out of the top 8 listings there are brand pages of practices in and around that local area. So very important. These are highly searched terms, especially for those that are currently using, and we know 25% of people are buying online. And if you can, talk to your marketing agency and look at perhaps an SEO program, that helps out with content around contact lens, brands and conditions that come along with it. That second result page there is actually a blog around contact lenses, and how the contact lenses designed for dry eye, and it also includes in there the AccuView Oasis brand page as well. So it's a great way to organically rank for those searches locally. And over time, these rankings don't really go anywhere. When it comes to Google AdWords, as we know, they can refresh every month. So a great way to be there 24/7, and just share with people in your area, what you carry, and what's available to them.
Look at that. Right on the dot. We did 20 minutes. We wanted to make sure we understand a lot of you are busy working professionals. So we wanted to make sure we don't, blow way over time. At this point, though, we're more than happy to open the floor to any Q&A. I didn't see anything come in while we were chatting, but we do also have a giveaway where we've got these cute little branded face masks, and we have done a draw, and the winner is Dr. Sean Moore. So we'll be contacting you, and we will get to mail you these little masks that you can either wear yourself or give them away to patients in your practice. That is up to you. So that will come your way. If there's any questions, we will stay on the line for a little bit, but also feel free if you ever want to ask anything after the fact. If you want to have a one-on-one meeting, if you're curious, you want to dive a little bit deeper, please feel free to contact Trudy. You've got her email right here on the screen. But absolutely, we're always happy to chat, and we hope that this was valuable for everybody. And thank you so much for your time. And thanks again to Johnson & Johnson Vision for sponsoring us today. It doesn't look like oh, I see one. I see a question. There we go. How well do you see a return on Instagram for contact sales? So that's a little bit challenging one to answer in terms of a return for sales. I would be looking at it more as an educational piece. So you're doing more awareness, usually on that platform, on Instagram. Instagram and Facebook, a lot of the time it is driving more awareness and less intent. So people are less likely to be doing an exact purchase on there. But it's more about talking about and reminding people, hey, this is something we do. This is something that we offer. Jeff or Robin, do you have any kind of insight on that?
Well, I see here we use Facebook regularly, but curious about pursuing Instagram too. Here's the thing, Facebook owns Instagram, right? So you can actually do one post on Instagram. Let's say you start your Instagram, it will automatically post onto your Facebook. Same with any stories you're doing on Instagram, it will automatically now connect to your Facebook stories. So the great thing is that you don't have to duplicate the work. You don't have to go on there and be like, oh, I'm doing a post on Facebook. Now I have to do a post on Instagram. Even the hashtags that you use will translate. So I don't see the harm in being on both platforms. I do think that millennials tend to be more oriented towards Instagram, the younger generation now towards Instagram. Facebook is a little bit more of the older generation. Millennials are like right in between, right? Because you have like your early 20-year-olds and then you have like your 38 years old. But Instagram, I would say, has a little bit of a younger audience. So it's depending on what you want to do. But again, the beauty is that they're connected, and what you do in one will reflect on the other one. So you do not have to do duplicate work. Now, in terms of millennials preferring SMS over email these days, a lot of companies and practices are going more towards the SMS route. I think it's really great for recalls. In terms of, I would say like a marketing campaign, like something that requires visuals, I would always go with email. I would go with a digital marketing with actual ads that showcase the product in itself or like the benefit of it, more than just a text message, because a text message doesn't quite paint the picture. But in terms of a recall, SMS is a text message.
Yes.
So SMS is text. So a text does not quite paint a picture, right? Like it does not paint somebody running or doing sports with their contact lenses, or somebody like maybe suffering with dry eye and we're talking about the contact lenses that they need to be using, right? So it doesn't paint that visual. But I would say SMS is really great for like maybe quick promos or reminders to buy your contact lenses, that your prescription is coming up, like you need to buy a new supply or
Yeah, I would echo that too. You're going to have a way better open rate on a text message than you are on an email. So you will pretty much, everybody's going to see that text. Email gets opened on average about, 20% at open rate. Still very effective. I definitely recommend both. But yeah, I completely echo what Robin said, because it really depends on what the campaign is, what you're trying to say, what you're trying to communicate. But yeah, recall via text is awesome. If you can do a combo hybrid of both, hit them at all angles.
Exactly.
Yeah, Jill, I just wanted to touch on the Instagram, measuring. Make sure you're measuring everything. Understand your analytics. If you do have a recall system on the website or e-commerce platform, define those goals, define that campaign that you're running on, regardless of what platform you're using, and then understand those dates that you're running those campaigns in. When you're doing that, you can then typically see if you're doing the proper tracking on the website. You can see contact lens, sales maybe going up during that period of time, or interest in specific contact lens pages. So driving traffic up on specific pages. So as long as you define what those goals are and then understand when those windows are you're running specific programs, you should be able to track and then go back and look and see what's working, and how well it's working.
Yeah. And when it comes to Facebook, Instagram questions as well, I do want to go back to that, target demographic, right? If you're talking about a type of contact lens that is, going to be more likely purchased by somebody a little bit younger, then you should probably be if you're putting money behind an ad, you would probably want to do more on the Instagram, because there's more of those people on that platform. So that's a lot of where the decisions are going to come from, is how do I get in front of that particular person? You can absolutely target on any of these platforms, but just knowing in general which platforms typically have, the type of people that you want to get in front of is going to be helpful in your decision-making process. Any other questions? Well, we got you here. I don't see anything. I'll give it 10 more seconds because I know typing takes a second. So, all right. Well, I think that's it. But again, like I mentioned, you can always touch base with us. If something comes up later and you want to chat, feel free. We'll be reaching out to Dr. Moore as well for your prize. And then also you'll be able to get this recording online. So a lot of different options. You can always reach out to us. And thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. And hopefully you found some value in this.
Thank you.
Thank you.